What's going on, y'all? It's JD Piquel. Today on the Hard Count, Dillon Gabriel has flipped his commitment from UCLA to Oklahoma. What does this mean for the Sooners? Welcome into CFB with JD, the People's Channel for every single thing that you know and love. College football content, it exists right here on this channel. Armstrong Sims, Jack McKenzie, they do the heavy lifting, and y'all, you drive the show. So Dillon Gabriel, he was committed to UCLA for the longest time, flips his commitment as of yesterday when Caleb Williams enters the transfer portal. Dillon Gabriel says, no, know what? There's an open seat there in Norman. I'm going to take that seat. You know why? Because my guy, Jeff Lebby, he's calling the shots on offense. So they're back together since they were obviously offensive coordinator and quarterback at UCF, did great things together there. They are now taking their talents together to Norman. Crazy timing, obviously, with Caleb Williams jumping into the portal, and then hours later, Dillon Gabriel saying, that's cool, I'll come with my guy, Jeff Lebby, to Norman. Also crazy timing because Dillon Gabriel was set to start classes at UCLA like today or something bizarre. All of a sudden, his phone rings or he calls somebody and something happens to where he gets to Norman. Good for him. What does this mean for Oklahoma? Because it has been absolute chaos there really since the Red River rivalry, with Spencer Rattler not starting, obviously going to the portal at the conclusion of the season. Lincoln Riley leaves, Caleb Williams leaves, and now you have a brand new set of faces and really a lot of uncertainty in Norman. So what does this mean to have both Lebby and more prominently Dillon Gabriel's decision to transfer to Oklahoma? First, I think it means you have some stability, because at the most crucial point of your offense is your relationship between your coordinator and your quarterback. And if it were Jeff Lebby and some other quarterback, there would have been a learning curve. They would have had to try to figure out how to work together. Okay, what plays do you like? What do you like to throw? What's your skill set? You can watch a lot of tape, but until you really get on the field and work with a guy, it's hard to really get a firm grasp of how you can best complement his skill set. So now, with Lebby and Gabriel already having this marriage from UCF, they can pick up very quickly where they left off and allow Oklahoma to continue to be dynamic offensively. And that's, I think, the second point. Gabriel and Lebby, like I mentioned, under Lebby, Gabriel had 60% completion percentage, over 3,000 yards. That is huge. That is huge because, like I said, the question mark with Brent Venables, for me at least, when he came to Oklahoma was, okay, you got a defensive-minded head coach, which is great. That works in this conference. You have, obviously, Mike Gundy winning with defense last year, Dave Aranda, a defensive head coach from his time at LSU, coming to Baylor and winning the whole conference. So we've seen defense kind of be the new flavor of the, I guess, time until it changes for the Big 12 conference. But you have so much firepower on offense. That's been your calling card for however many years at Oklahoma, is to have explosive offenses. And now with the new man at the helm and Brent Venables, who likes to play smash mouth defensive football, what does that mean for you on that side of the football? But now you have the quarterback that you need, the offensive coordinator you need to be able to keep that streak alive, to be able to keep those dynamic offenses continuing to be the forefront in a lot of ways, the face of your program. Now, that's crucial, obviously, for them as they jump into this next season, but even more so, I think it's crucial for them on the recruiting trail. Because now you can market to kids, hey, we have the quarterback you need, we have the offensive coordinator you need. If you're a young wide receiver at the high school level, you want to come play in Norman? I bet you do. If you're waiting until that second signing period, that late signing date to come and figure out your school and Oklahoma's in the mix, you're taking a lot closer of a look because you got some questions answered. You got the right guy calling the plays, got the right guy throwing you the football. In addition to that, the transfer portal and the guys already on your roster, this is good news. This is good news. This is even more of a calling card for those guys. Marvin Mims, a guy that has been rumored to be looking at the portal, this should do a lot for him in his case to stay in Norman. You cannot lose Marvin Mims if you're an Oklahoma Sooner fan. He is the best receiver on your roster. You already lost Hazelwood. As of a few hours ago, you lost Woods. You got to keep Mims. You got to keep Mims. Not to say you can't get somebody else to play his role, but you can't get someone to play his role like Marvin Mims and can't replace that production as quickly. Okay, so that's huge for a recruiting standpoint and honestly just the offensive situation as a whole, obviously, but it just means they will continue to be dynamic offensively. Now, lastly, this is something we talked about in another video as well. What does it mean for Oklahoma? It means you've ended the Caleb Williams era in Norman. And it's a little bit interesting because the AD and Brent Venables came out, did a statement, and basically said, no, we're still the best place for Caleb Williams. We have a dynamic offense. We'll continue to have a dynamic offense. And then hours later, they replace him. Something isn't adding up here. Now, I don't know exactly if there was disconnect between, Venables and Levy, or if there was, maybe they were on the same page, and maybe they just decided, hey, we need to take one in the hand versus two in the bush here. He may not come back. He's not on our roster right now. But you have effectively ended that era because you replaced a guy hours after he left. I'm going to tell you this. If you're going to say, I'm going to take a leave of absence from my job, I'm not leaving for sure, but I'm going to take a leave of absence to where I'm not getting paid anymore. I need to take some time to rethink if I want to be with this job. And then a few hours later, Joe from accounting, he comes and takes your job. And all of your coworkers, all the guys that have worked at your company before, are excited about it. You think you're going to go back to that job? Probably not. Right? They're excited about who they got. Joe's excited about his new job. There's no reason for you to go back. You're not needed there anymore. Maybe you're wanted by the boss and the powers that be, Brent Venables and the AD. I'm sure they would still like Caleb Williams, but there is no more vacancy. Because what I think would have been the more strategic move is to tell Dillon Gabriel, hey, we're going to hold out a little bit longer for our guy Caleb Williams. We really think there's a chance that he can come back. So this tells me, one, they're not willing to do that. Two, they must not feel that confident about him coming back. So, effectively, if there was any shadow of a doubt of Caleb Williams coming back to Norman, that chapter is closed. I'm sure Oklahoma fans wish him well as he moves on to whatever the next school is. But right now, Dillon Gabriel is your quarterback. Jeff Levy is your offensive coordinator. And hey, that's not such a bad thing. That's it for us here at The Hard Count. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time.